What is going on, everybody? My name is Dakota and welcome back to Cologne. Today we're going to be looking at and reviewing Montblanc Legend RED. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so I woke up this morning, the little snowstorm we had kind of went away, and that got me wanting to smell a little fresh and a little more vibrant today. So that is why today my scent of the day is going to be Montblanc Legend RED. So part of the reason I went with this one today is it's a simple, basic scent profile. It's a little citrusy. It's got a little warmth to it. It's just got a touch of sweetness to it. It has kind of like a refreshing spiciness to it, if that makes sense. So what we're going to do first is we are going to show off the atomizer on this one. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Actually has a really good atomizer. Good, clean, clear center burst. Very projective as well. When you first spray this does have a few citrus top notes. The main top note on this one that you pick up is going to be the blood orange. This also has juniper berry in it. And for me, that's exactly what I get whenever you first kind of smell this in the air. It's a little bit of sweet, it's a little bit of citrus, but it's like a tangy citrus. It's got a little bit of a bite to it, but that's kind of what I like about this. It kind of goes very well with the berries that you get on the opening notes, but at the same time, this has a little bit of like a fresh green twist to it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and let this dry down for a little bit. I'm gonna get this, spin it up, and get it on the note breaks down, and we'll be back in a second. Alrighty, as we get this spinning up, I'm gonna get into these notes real quick. We have top notes of blood orange, grapefruit, and cardamom. And when you first spray it, you get a lot of that blood orange. You get just a little bit of that grapefruit, but I don't get much cardamom off of the initial spray. The middle notes on this are gonna be cedar, clary sage, and juniper berry, with the base notes being an atlas cedar, mahogany, and tonka bean. So this is a very simple, very straightforward note breakdown, but it works very well for what this fragrance is. You get just a touch of sweet, but you get some citrus notes in there. You get a little bit of that woody notes in there with just a tiny touch of that tonka bean and the juniper berries. The tonka bean and the juniper berries gives it a little bit of like a fresh with a tiny hint of dark sweetness. And for what this is, blended very beautifully for a fragrance that comes in at this price point. But let me get y'all flip back around and we'll get in the rest of the breakdown. Alrighty, so we gave this one about 30 minutes, and this one doesn't really have a big change. It really doesn't have much of a change at all from the initial spray to the dry down. The only big change that you might get out of this is on the base note, some of that tonka bean kind of starts to pull through. It sweetens it up just a hair, and when I mean, it's just a little bit. This is not a dominant sweet fragrance by any stretch. But one of the other things that comes through is some of the wood notes start to come through a little bit better. And it smells kind of basic. It's very simple. It is very straightforward. For what this is, that's okay, because this is a very cheap, it's very mass appealing, but it smells very good. This smells like something that everyone would love. If you're someone who doesn't have a lot of fragrances in your collection, this might be one of the safest, easiest buys you could get, because it's got a little bit of a warm nature. It's got a little bit of that woodsy notes to it. It still has some of that citrus. It's got a little bit of tanginess, and it's fresh. It's refreshing. Like it's fresh as in green kinda, but it's also refreshing as in it's light. This would be an easy wear. You could probably wear this all 4 seasons. Now in my collection, this is more of a dominant spring and summer, but I hadn't worn this in a while. It's been kind of gloomy and snowy outside. All the snow's finally faded away. It's kind of warmed up a little bit. So I wanted something a little springy and fresh to make me feel better. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna get into the price and availability of this. Now, availability wise, this should be everywhere. This was a 2022 release, so it's still kind of new in the world of fragrances. There wasn't a whole lot of hype behind it. It just kind of got pushed out there and everybody seems to like it. Now for the pricing side of this, retail wise, this is gonna be about $100. For $100, I do think that this is overpriced. Discounters, I got this one. This is a tester, so I'll go ahead and show y'all that. This is a tester that came with cap. I think I spent $32. So your average discounters on this is gonna be somewhere between 30 and 40. For a $100 scent, you might be a little let down by this. For like a $35 scent, you're gonna absolutely love this. So, and that's why I like to go over the pricing. I don't want people to go to a big box store and buy this and essentially waste money. There is some fragrances that are worth buying at a big box store if you're worried about getting a dupe or if you're worried about getting like a fake or something like that. But there's enough trusted sites out there that do wholesale discounting that really shouldn't be that big of an issue anymore. And that's part of the reason why I kind of push that a little heavy on this channel, is because I don't want people wasting their money. If you can get something for 40 bucks shipped to your door, or you can get it for 110 plus tax at some box store. So that is kind of why I like to go over some of the pricing and stuff the way I do. It helps y'all save money and makes me feel better. But yeah, so as this video has kind of developed a little bit, I normally try to give it a little bit of time as the video goes on. I'll kind of break up my segments. That way it gives it a little more of a dry down as I'm talking about it. I can kind of explain how it develops and everything as it goes through. So we're about 45 minutes in at this point, and there's still not really a change. It smells more woody now than it did before. Some of the citrus notes have fallen off. You're left with kind of like an ambery, warm, still a little bit tangy, not heavy citrus, but still a little tangy. So I kind of like the way this dries down. It's not overcomplicated. It's very straightforward. You know, I've talked about in some of the other videos that I do tend to like fragrances that have some big crazy change, but not all of them has to be that. The way I look at a lot of these fragrances is they kind of fall in categories for me. And this one falls in the category that it's an easy grab. The performance isn't going to blow you away. I will get into that real quick. So the performance on this, longevity on this one is going to be in that 4 to 5 hour range. This doesn't have some crazy longevity thing. This only is an eau de toilette concentration. So, oh, no, I lied. This is eau de parfum concentration. I've seen it right there. My bad, y'all. I misread that earlier. Don't know how I misread that earlier. Whatever. But so this is an eau de parfum concentration, but it is light. It is fresh. It does get in that 4 to 5 hour range. So for me, that's all I need this to be. I don't need this to be some crazy monster performer, because when I wear this the most, as I said, is going to be spring and summer. And it gets so hot because I'm in Oklahoma, it gets so hot and humid down here. I don't want a monster performer. I want something I kind of got to layer on a little bit and kind of refresh it up a little bit. I don't want anything to be like such a thick, just nauseating smell when it's 115 degrees outside. The sillage on this is pretty okay. The sillage is in the 1 to 2 feet. The projection is as well. It's about 1 to 2 feet. I like it. It fits what I bought it for perfectly. And that is I got to run to town. I'm only going to be gone a few hours. It's hot outside. I don't feel like fooling around with a bunch of stuff. This is a quick, easy grab. It's going to smell good. It's going to have that mass appeal effect. It is pretty simple. It's pretty basic and straightforward, but that anyone should be able to wear this at pretty much any time. It's office safe. Might be able to get away with wearing this on a date. You're not going to impress her too much with this one, but she'll like it because it's so mass appealing. But so yeah, to me, this is a all day, anywhere, anytime kind of fragrance. Are you going to be a standout in the room? No. But are you still going to smell good? Yes. And that is why for this one, if I had to give this a rating, I would give this an 8.5 out of 10. I will knock it, now that I know it's an eau de parfum concentration, not going to lie, I really did misread that earlier. The performance on this, I will knock it half a point just for that. I don't want this to be overpowering. I don't want it to be dominant. And the other point that I would knock it for, which I can't really hate on it too much, is that it is very basic. It is very mass appealing. This smells similar to 30 or 40 other fragrances out there. The reason that I may gravitate toward this one compared to some other ones is the price point that you can get this. For that $35 range, this is quality stuff. So yeah, that's the reason I'm going to give this an 8.5. This is an easy reach when it's hot out. If this is a short trip, this is an easy reach. But yeah, that is going to get us wrapped up on today's. Go ahead and get on this one more time. This is a nice looking. This is a nice bottle. It fits the hand good. It's got a little bit of weight to it. As a whole, solid bottle. I give the bottle an 8 out of 10 as well. But yeah, that is going to get us wrapped up for today. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for subscribing, for all the feedback, for the comments, for everything. I genuinely appreciate all that. And if anybody wants me to review a fragrance or look into a fragrance or try to do something like that, just let me know in the comments. I will happily try to reach out and find a fragrance that if somebody wants to know something about that I might be able to help with, just let me know in the comments. I'll do what I can. But that is going to get us wrapped up. As always, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.